How does hierarchical clustering differ from partitioning methods? Hierarchical clustering and partitioning methods are both techniques used in unsupervised learning to group data points into clusters, but they differ fundamentally in their approaches and applications. Hierarchical clustering 1. Approach. Hierarchical clustering builds a hierarchy of clusters using a bottom-up, agglomerative, or top-down, divisive approach. In agglomerative clustering, each data point starts as its own cluster, and pairs of clusters are merged iteratively based on their similarity until a single cluster encompassing all data points is formed. In divisive clustering, the process starts with a single cluster and splits it iteratively into smaller clusters, too. Output. The result of hierarchical clustering is a dendrogram, a tree-like structure that shows the arrangement of clusters and the order in which they were merged or split. This dendrogram can be cut at different levels to obtain the desired number of clusters. 3. Flexibility. Hierarchical clustering does not require the number of clusters to be specified in advance. It also provides a comprehensive view of the data's structure, revealing relationships between clusters at different levels of granularity. Partitioning methods 1. Approach. Partitioning methods, such as k-means and k-medoids, directly partition the data into a predefined number of clusters, k. These methods start with an initial set of centroids or medoids and iteratively reassign data points to the nearest cluster center and update the cluster centers based on the mean, k-means, or medoid, k-medoids, of the points in the cluster, 2. Output. The result is a flat set of clusters with no hierarchical relationships. Each data point belongs to exactly one cluster, 3. Requirements. Partitioning methods require the number of clusters, k, to be specified beforehand, which can be a limitation if the optimal number of clusters is not known. Differences. Structure. Hierarchical clustering produces a dendrogram showing the nested structure of clusters, whereas partitioning methods produce a flat clustering without hierarchical relationships. Flexibility. Hierarchical clustering does not require a pre-specified number of clusters, while partitioning methods do. Computational complexity. Hierarchical clustering can be more computationally intensive, especially for large datasets, compared to partitioning methods like k-means. Hierarchical clustering provides a detailed hierarchical structure of clusters and is more flexible regarding the number of clusters, while partitioning methods are simpler and more efficient for flat clustering when the number of clusters is known. What are the main types of tasks performed in unsupervised learning? Unsupervised learning encompasses a variety of tasks aimed at uncovering hidden patterns and structures in unlabeled data. The main types of tasks performed in unsupervised learning include clustering. Clustering involves grouping similar data points into clusters based on their features. Common clustering algorithms include k-means, hierarchical clustering, and DBSCAN. Clustering is widely used for market segmentation, image segmentation, and organizing large datasets into meaningful groups. Dimensionality reduction. Dimensionality reduction techniques reduce the number of features in a dataset while preserving its essential structure and relationships. Principal component analysis (PCA) and T-distributed stochastic neighbor embedding (TSNE) are popular methods. These techniques help in data visualization, noise reduction, and improving the performance of other machine learning algorithms by eliminating redundant features. Anomaly detection. Anomaly detection aims to identify rare or unusual data points that differ significantly from the majority of the data. Techniques such as clustering, isolation forests, and autoencoders are used. Applications include fraud detection, network security, and predictive maintenance. Association rule learning. Association rule learning discovers interesting relationships or associations between variables in large datasets. A priori and FP growth are common algorithms. This task is particularly useful in market basket analysis to identify product purchase patterns, Feature learning. Feature learning automatically discovers the representations needed for classification or detection. Techniques like autoencoders and deep learning models extract meaningful features from raw data, improving the performance of machine learning models in tasks like image recognition and natural language processing. Data generation. Unsupervised learning can also be used for data generation, where models like generative adversarial networks, GANs, create new data samples similar to the training data. This is useful in applications such as image synthesis, data augmentation, and creating realistic simulations. In summary, unsupervised learning performs tasks like clustering, dimensionality reduction, anomaly detection, association rule learning, feature learning, and data generation, providing valuable insights and enhancing various applications across different domains. What are some common issues encountered in k-means clustering? K-means clustering is a widely used algorithm for partitioning data into clusters, but it comes with several common issues. Sensitivity to initial centroids. K-means can converge to different clusters depending on the initial placement of centroids. Poor initialization can lead to suboptimal clustering results. Methods like k-means help mitigate this by providing a smarter initialization of centroids, choosing the number of clusters, k, determining the optimal number of clusters, k, is a challenging task. There is no definitive method to choose k, and often, methods like the elbow method or silhouette score are used, which can be subjective and require domain knowledge. Sensitivity to outliers. K-means is sensitive to outliers and noise. Outliers can significantly distort the mean of the clusters, leading to incorrect centroid positions and poorly defined clusters. Pre-processing steps like outlier removal or using robust clustering variants like k-medoids can help. Assumption of spherical clusters. K-means assumes clusters are spherical and equally sized. This assumption fails in real-world data where clusters can be of various shapes and sizes, leading to inaccurate clustering for nonlobular data distributions. Scalability. K-means can be computationally expensive for large datasets, as it requires multiple iterations over the data. While there are scalable versions, the basic algorithm might not be efficient for very large datasets. Convergence to local minima. K-means minimizes intracluster variance but can get stuck in local minima, resulting in suboptimal clusters. Multiple runs with different initializations or alternative algorithms like Gaussian mixture models, GMMs, can help achieve better results. Feature scaling. K-means relies on distance calculations, making it sensitive to the scale of features. Without proper normalization or standardization, features with larger scales can dominate the clustering process, leading to biased results. In summary, common issues in k-means clustering include sensitivity to initial centroids, choosing the number of clusters, handling outliers, assuming spherical clusters, scalability concerns, convergence to local minima, and the need for feature scaling. Addressing these issues requires careful preprocessing, initialization strategies, and sometimes alternative clustering methods. Describe an example of anomaly detection using unsupervised learning. Anomaly detection using unsupervised learning is a powerful method for identifying unusual patterns in data that deviate significantly from the norm. One practical example is in network security for detecting fraudulent activity or cyber attacks. Example: network intrusion detection. 1. Data collection. Network traffic data is collected, including features such as IP addresses, port numbers, packet sizes, and timestamps. To pre-processing, the raw data is pre-processed to remove noise and irrelevant information. This includes normalizing feature values and converting categorical data into numerical format. 3. Feature extraction. Relevant features that describe the normal behavior of network traffic are extracted. Common features might include the number of connections per IP address, average packet size, and frequency of access to specific ports. 4. Clustering. An unsupervised learning algorithm, such as k-means clustering, is applied to the processed data. The algorithm groups the data into clusters representing normal network behavior patterns. 5. Anomaly detection. Once clusters are formed, data points that do not fit well into any cluster, i.e., they have a high distance from cluster centroids, are flagged as anomalies. These points represent potential intrusions or unusual activities. 6. Analysis and response. Network administrators analyze the flagged anomalies to determine if they are legitimate threats. This may involve further investigation, such as checking logs or monitoring the flagged IP addresses. Benefits. Real-time detection. Anomaly detection can identify suspicious activities in real time, allowing for prompt responses to potential threats. Adaptability. Unsupervised learning can adapt to changing network patterns, maintaining its effectiveness over time without needing labeled data. In network intrusion detection, unsupervised learning provides an effective way to identify and respond to anomalies, enhancing overall network security and protecting against cyber threats.